Hi. So the Anchor song by Bjork. Jenny, no. Yeah, Jenny, no, not Jenny, was a friend of mine. What was that? I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I can't believe I can't remember. It's like one of my favorite Killers songs. It's fine. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. Cancer. Have we done Cancer? Do we do Cancer? No, we haven't done Cancer. Cancer, this is your March general read. Please check the description box for everything that you need to know, including how to book a personal reading, how to donate to the channel. Check out your rising moon and Venus sign for additional messages. If you're here watching tarot, then that means that more than likely you believe in a lot of esoteric things, including I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, and claircognizant. And when I hear ringing on my left-hand side, those are messages from my spirit guides. I want to hear it, on my left. When I hear it on the right, some messages from people I know that have passed on. We're going to do a past, present, future spread for you today using the Botticelli tarot. First, we're going to use the I Am Power Pack to get your affirmation. What is that one? Somebody told me she had a girlfriend. Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend that looks like a girlfriend that I met in February of last year. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. I'm like embarrassed. Anyway, please check out your rising moon and Venus sign for additional messages. I'm not going to put a time limit on myself for my readings because it's kind of just gotten super laborious trying to, well, for me, I don't want to do fast-ass tarot, and I'm already cutting corners because I'm not clarifying, so I'm just going to do 6 cards, 6 cards, 6 cards. So if it takes an hour, it takes an hour. And don't mind the nails. I'm taking a break because they're breaking. Yeah, I just hadn't taken a break in a while, so they've gotten a little weak. Let's see. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is your message? Tell me where in your chart Cancer falls in the comments. Good. Here we go. I am hope. Okay. So you're looking for hope, or you're trying to be hope for somebody else, perhaps. But that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? And maybe it's just retaining your faith in something at this time. It's important to you. Now, I will be reading dignities as well. I'll be kind of like looking at everything else around it. I read intuitively, not just what's on the cards. I just don't know now. Somebody tell me that you... Somebody's taking their time. They're very pensive about something, trying to take their time considering something or deciding, making like a decision about something. So something, February of last year. Of course, happy leap year. I know everybody's making a big deal about it. This time around, I don't, but Twister Fairness for you. I take flippers and jumpers only. That doesn't mean. No, that is important for you. 8 of Cups in reverse. Trying to go back to something that you should be, maybe it's something that you were hoping to leave behind in search of your own personal wish fulfillment, or that you were looking to leave behind to search for the 9 of Cups, which you did not. You're coming back to it, or it's coming back to you. I take flippers and jumpers is what I was trying to say. It doesn't mean everybody else does. It's just my way of making it, for me, as completely random as possible. So if things are matching up for you, there's no way in hell that it can possibly be rehearsed. You know what I mean? And that's not to insinuate that anybody else does that. It's just, for me, I always like to be as random as possible. That way, if it's coming out, it's coming out because it's meant to. All right. Skeptic. Oh, wait. Isn't that funny? We have two here. In the past, the recent past. There he is again. With the Four of Swords in the reverse, coming out of healing and meditation, or the call to, like, it's like you need to. Also, I have a flipper here, by the way. Coming out of meditation, quiet, rest, and repose, and going right back into something that you had initially walked away from, or somebody coming back to you after you've done a little bit of that resting period. Three of Pentacles in the reverse. There's a contract that didn't happen, or this is about the lack of symphony in between, mind, body, and spirit. We'll see as we move along here. But I'm kind of feeling like there's a feeling like if you go back to something, it's not going to end on friendly terms. Sometimes people read this as friendship, this one. But, going back to something and it not ending on good terms. If it ends, it won't end on good terms. You won't be friends afterwards. But, it's usually contracts, small checks. Interesting. Let's see what else. Somebody, in the past, was hoping to use someone as a stepping stone. They came back to someone hoping to use them as a stepping stone to something, but it didn't pan out that way. Maybe because of that other individual did a little bit of healing work themselves, meditated on something dawned on them in meditation. What else? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. We'll just chuck like a big chunk of cards out. Well, one did stick on the board, the Nine of Pentacles. A lack of self-reliance, a lack of independence, a lack of ability to stand on one's own 2 feet. The Pentacles are in the sky here. That's interesting to me. I don't know what that means to you. And to me, it's like the gold is in the sky. Somebody looks upon the material as if it's a far-off hope, wish, or goal, or looks up at the stars and sees the pentacles and the stars. But they have the inability to... it's not just a material thing. It's also the ability to create one's future in the real world, that somebody doesn't have the belief in themselves to do so, or it's like the imaginative side is there, but manifesting it into reality doesn't happen. And it's because three things: the physical, the mental, the emotional, or the physical, emotional, spiritual, or pick your three. It's not they're not in union, so it can't really ever come into fruition. What else? I just keep on going back. It's like a feeling of like a circle, healing, going back to something that you had abandoned in search of something better. Healing, going back to something, healing, going back to something, healing, going back to something. Bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts. I guess is the way to put it. Something my dad used to always say. Bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts. Oh, okay. The Emperor in the reverse. There's a argument. Somebody who imposes their will on others. Somebody who likes to instill fear in other people in order to get their way. This is the tyrant as opposed to the firm-handed leader. Aries energy. Somebody who, it's interesting because in the reverse you see they wield the sword as if they're about to ready to strike. It's somebody who doesn't rely on themselves to grasp their 9 pentacles. They rely on force of will or instilling fear in others in order to do that. Threats. It's like how the Emperor sent his henchmen out to, like, you know, if you don't pay your taxes, I'm gonna get you. You know, like that kind of a thing. That's what it kind of occurs to me as, you know. Finally, in the recent past for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Somebody who masquerades themselves as a companion or had in the past. No, I'm wrong on that. Or you were wrong on that. A fair weather friend. Remember, the cups aren't always romance. Sometimes we have to think about it differently. We don't get all of our water from relationships, right? So, let's see here. Oh, one wanted to stay anyway. Knave of Swords in the reverse. Somebody's turning a blind eye to all of this. Somebody's choosing to look away. Turning a blind eye to this kind of a thing when it happens, or not acknowledging their partner or your partner. Not validating your experience. Or invalidating your experience because they have something to gain. Or somebody who's refusing to look at this situation. They're ignoring it, like ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. As long as I don't see it, and it's not in front of my face, is the kind of the... As long as it's not happening in plain view, then it's not happening. Or it's a situation, a scenario that someone's avoiding conversation about, avoiding confrontation about, or avoiding altogether, turning a blind eye to it, or ignoring that it exists in order to protect their own peace. But they also don't want to know about it. Then Page of Swords, typically, I'm just going to turn them up right here for a second. The Page of Swords, I hate reflections, but you know. Page of Swords is normally an individual who's watching, you know, but not necessarily just watching, but somebody who's observing for the purposes of learning. This is also a communication card. Pages are communicators. They message, they write, they speak the will of whomever's wielding them. In the reverse is somebody who is ignoring something, avoiding it, avoiding a conversation, avoiding for the purposes of learning. Like not wanting to learn something, not wanting to see something, not wanting to acknowledge its existence. Because then they would know, and they don't want to know. Or they don't, because then they would have to admit something. In the present for you, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is where it gets interesting. Okay, so the High Priestess in the reverse with the World. Okay. So after following your intuition, or actually a secret coming to light is more what I'm apt to say here, or, you know, inclined to say here, is the World. This is where I'm seeing it as an ending. No beginning, no end with this card, because it's a circle. Normally we see this as a circle. There is no beginning, there is no end, there is only change. So something changing after a secret comes out, or someone follows their intuition and understands something from a deep esoteric perspective. And especially because we have it beneath the Four of Swords in the reverse, it's saying to me that it's definitely either an inner truth or a realization dawning on somebody about something needing to end or change or culminate or complete or begin anew in a different form through meditation, or something that's a little bit more of a new age or occult type of, like, that's the vector for this realization or for this truth or for this secret. Or I don't really like using the word secret because there's so many negative connotations that come with that word, but it's like the realization of why somebody came back or why somebody returned to the scene of the crime, or what really returning actually meant. There is no end, there's only change. I keep hearing that with the World card. A lot of people will just, because here's, you know, word association. Everything everybody ever wants to memorize or learn, word association, right? And with the World card, what is the word association with the World card? I'm sure you're probably saying it out loud right now. Endings, right? But it's not always endings, because it is a snake eating its tail, and so it's still a circle. And sometimes it can be the merry-go-round of crazy that never ends, you know? What else? Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Progression backwards. Yeah, so somebody is regressing instead of progressing. Okay, so once there's a passionate beginning or a creative endeavor that sparks up, I call this the matchstick of the divine with the Ace of Wands. It's an idea. There's inspired action and inspired beginnings that pop up after this change or this ending or what have you. It's got to do with examining further where one hasn't invested the most energy when it comes to becoming a holistic being, because we often forget the world is also about becoming a holistic, perfect being. It's the end of the major arcana, and we start out as a zero, the Fool, somebody who knows nothing, is an empty vessel ready to be filled, and all of a sudden, boom, smash, pow, they reach 21 after going through all of the archetypes, which is the World card, 21. And that's the end, where they have achieved all of the, well, I don't know if achieved is the word. They've traversed every lesson that could be offered to them in their lifetime. And then they become a whole being, somebody who realizes more than just what's within themselves. They have experienced, right? So, trying to realize the wholeness, there's creativity and inspiration that pops up, a beginning of sorts with that. I don't know why I'm seeing this as it's almost as if, for me, I'm seeing it as viewing this individual who has a lack of accountability and ownership over their circumstances and destiny, and, you know, where they're pointing their boat, what direction it's going to go in, how they're going to achieve their legacy, you know, because they don't have any independence or ability to, you know, manifest on their own, or at least don't take ownership over that for themselves. It's almost as if that's inspired you to move differently. So that's our Knight of Swords. It's inspired you in a way that you've got a creative idea. It's extremely passionate and there's a beginning there, but you're avoiding being impulsive in your action, moving forward, which is good. You're being thoughtful about it because you don't want to come across as this Emperor in reverse who's irresponsible with their power and the power they hold over others. Because you know loss and abandonment in realms of the cups, right? In realms of water. Friendships, family, lovers who've imposed their will rather than taking accountability for their circumstances and the direction they'll travel in and moving forward, you know. Else, finally, for you in the present, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We got one. Yeah, a Six of Wands in the reverse. There's a feeling of defeat here. See? Six of Wands in the reverse. There's no victory, homecoming. Somebody is avoiding recognizing something, and so they lose because they're not acknowledging its existence. That's why the loss here. It's almost that, so we forget about this. We have a lot of different, and you know, there are some cards that are trickier than other cards in tarot. I find this to be a challenging card. Some people would be surprised to think that, but I think this is a challenging card to read. And in some ways it is, and in some ways it isn't. In this context, I don't think it is. But it's a little bit different than the meaning, right? The guy is usually under the tree and he's got the cups there and he doesn't give a crap about any of them. Not even the cup that is being extended to him from the divine. He could care less. And it kind of shows this person apprehensively trying to reach for a cup, but they're not actually, you know, they're not like chomping at the bit there, you know? And I think somebody, their lack of acknowledging, the inability to acknowledge something's existence, avoiding looking at something because it might either be too painful or they just don't want to know because ignorance is bliss, or, you know, maybe it would mean having to admit something to oneself actually ends up being a loss. You know, normally this is triumph. This is victory. This is performance and applause. And in the reverse, it is defeat. A feeling of defeatedness or just being the one who lost out. All right. In the future for you. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Is it the hesitation to reach out for that cup? Or is it the hesitation to accept what is from the past and how things were, or who somebody is, or what they did, or what you know, or this might be you who does this. And if it isn't, you know, accepting your part in it, what part you play in it, you know, I can't say for sure. You are the one who says, I don't, you know. But again, in the future. Right, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. There's just a feeling of, you know, futility after working hard to achieve something, or after the fight, because the Five of Wands is the conflict. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and the Five of Swords in the reverse. Okay. So there is a realization here about feminine Capricorn energy. But it also could be what the Queen of Pentacles represents. Which and then also understanding coming out of self-deception, for lack of a better term. I think that's the completion, or the holistic air about the present kind of drags down into the future here, and that's kind of what we're looking at. There is something coming to somebody during meditation, meditation. I don't know why I said medication. Meditation might be under an altered state, but a secret or something of the occult nature that kind of brings something to light for somebody, that changes something or transforms something, and it's an inspiring change, something passionate beginning happening there. But it has to do with either a Capricorn feminine energy, doesn't have to be female, that isn't comfortable in their home space, or the need for you to embody somebody who brings comfort and luxury into the home space is determined and ambitious. It could be a lack of ambition. And that could be the self-deception that's lifting, is that you're not in a position, or you are avoiding providing luxury and comfort and within the home space, or ambition and determination is eluding you in your endeavors. And that's, you know, that is the death of self-deception. There is no beginning, there is no end, there's only change. And that's going to bring about change for you. It's an inspired change that you've been looking to make, and you're looking at making it in the future, but you know that impulsivity is not the key. What is the means of ambition? I don't know why I'm thinking that right now, but the means of ambition. Yeah, too. There's a decision that comes up as a result. It's an inspired choice. And you're going with your intellect over your intuition moving forward, because the writing's on the wall, right? I think this is going to be about walls. What's with you and walls? I'm just going to call it walls, because the writing is on the wall. And you know that following your intuition when everything is obvious is an exercise in futility. And that's another buzzword that's come up a couple times for you during this read. King of Swords is a judge, magistrate, parole officer, police officer, lawyer, somebody in a position of authority, but also it is somebody who is masculine, Aquarius energy, intelligent as hell, less intuitive and far more strategic. There's a decision being made either in the courts, because we have I don't like to do this, but if we were doing this judgment, a judgment that is being handed down from the law, from a judge, you may have been fooling yourself about it. Could be happening during Cancer season, because the inverse of Capricorn, if we're doing timing. Aries, Sagittarius energy as well, so we could be seeing it during Capricorn, Sagittarius season. Something legal going on. Yeah, it's handed down. And there's a reward for the lack of impulsive action. See what else? What else? What else? All the Wine by The National. That was one of the other songs. Thank you. God is on my side. Okay. Another king. Interesting. When this card came down for the King of Swords, I remember it from a reading. I don't remember what sign it was, but it was when I was at my parents' place this summer and I was doing readings in their backyard. This guy fell beside him. And I find it interesting that we have this happening again. So now we have Leo energy. Leo energy. It could be also Aries energy, but I typically see the kings as the fixed signs. It is passionate leadership, masculine energy, somebody who is extremely creative but extremely fiery. It's more about, like, we have the passion and the drive here twice in this bottom row. So after the decision's handed down, looks to be that there'll be somebody else come along and help to actualize, realize this decision. It could be during Aries season that happens. But it could take much longer. It could be right into the summer. Finally for you, Chris. Then we'll do your magnetic poetry. Sorry. Let's see here. Oh, that's perfect. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Ooh. So this is an irrational, pissed off, very angry Aries woman. What did I say? Not woman, it's feminine energy, but yeah. You got an inverted Queen of Wands with a upright King of Wands, eh? This is what I do read as third party feminine energy. Flashy leopard print. Think leopard print when you see this. Even though these depictions don't necessarily. Anyway, so you got two queens on either side that are inverted. You have unsettled earth energy and unsettled fire energy. Not a prayer for water in the future. Third party feminine energy here. Lack of determination, passion, and drive. A lack of career goal. Somebody has been deceiving themselves. There's a decision that has been handed down. It is something that was most likely to make sense, or the most logical decision, or the most just decision, but it was handed down in the courts, more than likely. And then you have this being enacted in between the spring and the summer, end of summer. Either that or somebody stepping into their leadership energy and presiding over a volatile feminine Aries energy of sorts here. Either that or this is like lashing out. The response to this is an individual who's lashing out. If you're Cancer, Leo, cusp, could be. But there's still a warning about the power of defeat when one avoids acknowledging the existence of certain things or taking accountability for their part in them. I think that's the big thing. And bottom of the deck, acknowledging the existence of one's surroundings as well as how one's accountability for one's own lot in life. This guy can totally get down, walk away anytime he so chooses. He chooses not to. Ignorance is bliss, acknowledging the existence of the swords that surround him, acknowledging the part that he plays and not taking ownership over his destiny. All right. Let's see. Magnetic poetry, folks. Been trying to mix this up a little bit more. I don't know how to make it any more random, but I keep pulling the same things. It's just, doesn't matter what I do. Okay. I don't have enough. That's too many. Shit. Oh, you might have some Pisces in your chart. I think it was Pisces. Was it Pisces I just did? No, it was Taurus that had this, I think. I can't remember. It's fine. Okay. All right, Cancer. Hit this button if this made sense. Reflect what I do. And we'll see you when we see you next. Yeah. All right. Bye. Oh, wait, I forgot. What signs are you dealing with? Sagittarius, Cancer, and Aries. Yeah, okay. All right, now for real. Bye. Yeah. There you go. There's your board. All right. Okay, toodaloo. Bye.